that are going to participate today in the meeting. Thank you to all of them, and thank you to the students who next year will join us in this effort.
Thank you, Rector. And now let me introduce you the head of the Department of the Mathematics of University of Padua, Professor Bruno Chiarellotto.
Thank you very much. I'm proud to present this new. Sorry about this. We are still in an emergency. I'm proud to present this new master program in cybersecurity. Proud and happy because it merges to the skills and the knowledges of two really important departments in the University of Padua. The Department of Information Engineering and the Department of Mathematics. So from the pure approach to the more applied one. I am also happy because I believe that this new subject, cybersecurity, will answer to the need of all our society. And in this, it is the strength of the university, and in particular of the University of Padua, ready to answer to the request, to the needs of the society. We should think about what happened during this emergency period, how our university hospital helped the people helping this to deal with this virus and the emergency after that. And I think that this master represents also an answer of our university to other requests of our social life. So if you think we are all day long dealing with banks, with all day long dealing with security, with the data that we put in some part of our computer, think about our also security and let's say national security. All of this is concerned with cybersecurity. So it's another way how our university answers to the needs of our society. But I can see also in this, also the role of the university. It's the idea of merging a pure research with the eyes to what can be used of this research, pure research in the society. And I think that the University of Padua can furnish to all the people, to all professors, all researchers, a free place where to study, to develop pure researches, and at the same time to be ready to apply these researches to the more advanced technical problems. This is our duty. This is the duty of University of Padua. And in one sense, this idea is something that we have to pursue. I still remember when I was really young and I was a research in Paris, when I was studying elliptic curves. Elliptic curves are connected with the Fermat-Last theorem. So we were discussing with our colleagues. At a certain point, one of them was called by the École Polytechnique to teach elliptic curves. So we were wondering why. I'm talking about the ending of the 80s. We were wondering why. And we discovered that it was connected with cryptography. So that's something that we have to have always in our mind. So for all of that, I think that is really important for us to have this contribution from the Department of Mathematics and the Department of Engineering, Information Engineering. This is really important. We have to merge our attitude to the research. So I'm sure that the program will be successful. And I will really thank the rector of the University of Padua for all his help. And our, let's say, in the demiurge of our master, Professor Conti. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Chiarellotto. And now let me introduce you the head of the Department of Information Engineering of University of Padua, Professor Gaudenzio Meneghesso.
Thank you. So the Department of Information Engineering is proud to be one of the main promoters of this master degree in cybersecurity, which is interdisciplinary by nature and hence needs to merge together the competences of ICT engineers, computer scientists, mathematicians, and specialists in psychology, economy, and law. Our department is an intrinsically interdisciplinary department, which embraces all the area of ICT, from computer engineering to telecommunication, from electronics, automation, and bioengineering, and cover the complete spectrum of industrial application. Our department made interdisciplinarity its way to excellence, both in research, being one of the top-ranked ICT departments in Italy, and industrial collaboration. We host 5 engineering master degrees in the key ICT area, offering highly interdisciplinarity program within the engineering sector. And we graduate hundreds of students every year. This new master degree in cybersecurity offers to our department the possibility of bringing interdisciplinarity to the next level in participating to the first interdepartmental master degree at the University of Padua. So this is an experiment we do for the first time in collaboration with the mathematics departments and with strong help of our university. And we wanted to do this in a frontier topic research industry and society. In this context, our department is proud to contribute to the whole spectrum of the ICT engineering competencies, among which physical layer security, quantum cryptography, biometrics, big data analytics, and management. So we strongly believe that not only this master degree will benefit from the engineering competencies, but vice versa. I think that our master degree will really take advantages of this new level. And as a matter of fact, the digital technology and more interdependent, and it is hence fundamental to make the next generation of professionals grow in a truly multidisciplinary environment, where students are exposed to different but connected disciplines and are given the chance to personalize the study plan in order to better express their own attitude. So therefore, I'm looking forward with enthusiasm to this new adventure, to this new project, and I really hope this will be a success for our university. And with the thank and the support for all the university, all the department involved, I'm sure we will do a very good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Meneghesso. And now let me introduce you the prefect of the Padua City, Renato Franceschelli. Do il benvenuto in collegamento su Zoom al prefetto della città di Padova, il dottor Renato Franceschelli.
Buongiorno a tutti, grazie al magnifico Rettore per l'invito a portare questo breve saluto. Ovviamente il mio vuole essere solo l'apprezzamento per un'iniziativa che ancora una volta dimostra come l'Università di Padova sia al passo con quelle che sono le iniziative che il mondo di oggi ci chiede di affrontare, ed è soprattutto un interesse che anche nella pubblica amministrazione, anche il mondo della sicurezza, oggi più che mai deve avere per queste tematiche. La sicurezza informatica era un tema che fino a qualche tempo fa occupava solo si riferiva solo alle grandi infrastrutture strategiche del paese, si riferiva forse a qualche grande azienda. Oggi è nella vita di tutti noi e di questo dobbiamo prendere atto. Lo sviluppo della biometria, dell'iCloud e di tutti questi temi ovviamente sono oggi per noi un terreno di sfida, e non è un caso che gli indici della criminalità vedano crescere tutto quello che è i reati informatici rispetto a forme di reato più tradizionali. Per questo penso che l'iniziativa di Padova debba avere il plauso e l'apprezzamento, diciamo, guardando in un'ottica che mi è più propria, ovviamente, non essendo io certamente né un informatico né un matematico, ma forse un semplice operatore di temi giuridici. Io penso che questi temi abbiano bisogno, e questo mi auguro possa essere il prossimo passo dell'Università di Padova, abbiano bisogno anche di formare una classe di giuristi attenti a queste tematiche, quindi personale che anche dal punto di vista dell'amministrazione o del diritto possano essere consapevoli e formati su queste nuove sfide. Io auguro ovviamente a chi parteciperà da quest'anno a questo corso, auguro ovviamente le migliori fortune. Ringrazio i dipartimenti che hanno lavorato per mettere in cantiere questa nuova sfida, questo nuovo avvio, e ovviamente auguro a tutti voi una buona giornata di lavoro. Grazie.
Grazie mille, Prefetto Renato Franceschelli. Thank you, Prefect of Padua, Renato Franceschelli. And now is the moment for the panel discussion. So let me introduce you, Professor Mauro Conti. He is the Study Program Coordinator of Cybersecurity Master Degree. So he will moderate all the panel and the speeches of all the other important speakers of today's event. Thank you very much, and Professor Conti.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you all for attending this event, even remotely. Before starting the panel, I would like to wholeheartedly thank all those that made this possible. Of course, our prestigious university, as you know, we have a very important scientific and cultural heritage. And I would like to thank personally the Rector Magnificus, Professor Rosario Rizzuto, and the directors of the Department of Mathematics and Department of Information Engineering, Professor Chiarellotto and Professor Meneghesso. And at the same time, I would like also to thank all the colleagues and also the admin staff that helped throughout this long process to set up a new master degree. So today is somehow a celebration of this success. I mean, we made it, we set up our new master degree, but it's also the beginning of a new journey. And I would like to thank all of our prestigious speakers that we have in our panel that further underlines how it is important, this event, and also the education, the high-level education in cybersecurity. Thank you for all the panelists for accepting our invitation. Our panelists are going to discuss challenges and opportunities that they see in the cybersecurity area, and of course, including the need of, again, high education or highly prepared people for this kind of job. So this is the list of prestigious speakers I'm pleased and honored to have today with us. From the government institutions, we have Lieutenant General Salvatore Farina, Chief of State of the Italian Army. We have Professor Roberto Baldoni, Deputy Director General and Head of Cybersecurity, Department of Information for Security of the Italian Presidency for the Council of Ministers. We have Isabella Fusiello, Police Commissioner of Padua, and Sergio Russo, Head of the Postal and Communication Police Department for Veneto. From also industry, we have a set of very important representatives, starting with Barbara Poggiali, Managing Director of the Cybersecurity Division of Leonardo Company, Alfio Rapisarda, Senior Vice President Security of Eni, Fabio Goste, Head of Cybersecurity and Business Continuity Management and Group Information Security Officer of Intesa San Paolo, and Riccardo Barrile, Chief Information Security Officer of Ferrovie dello Stato Italiano. So I would not take more time. Again, I'm very pleased and honored to have as our first speaker, General Salvatore Farina, Chief of the Italian Army, and I would leave him the floor. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Professor Conti. Good morning to everyone. I'm very happy, honored to be here. I greet all the future students, all the distinguished guests, all my fellow panelists as well. And let me just make a particular greet to Dr. Renato Franceschelli, the prefect of Padua, and in particular to the rector, Professor Rosario Rizzuto. And thank you, Professor, thank you, Rector, for inviting me to this very, very important event. I am very honored. I have to say from scratch, there are two main reasons because I am very honored to be part of this panel. First, the Padua University is the only Italian university to be awarded by with the military gold medal that just was awarded for the fact of contributing to the liberation of Italy in the year 43-45. And thank you for that. And second thing that I am very pleased with a little bit of emotion, I have to say that Padua is my university. I've been a student for more than 15 years, 15. So I was grown up, already commander, young commander, when I decided to register to enroll in Padua University. It took me around 15 years. My registration number is still there, I think, 191888. So, and I remember from, you know, just the beginning, how happy where I just when I usually met young students, great professors, and my spirits. Although I grew up, you know, with the, you know, year after year, step by step, because I used to be an officer and a commander. So in the free time, I used to study engineering, electric engineering, but I was completely inspired by the innovation spirit, by the research for doing better, looking at the future, planning for the future. That was, and I think still is, the spirit of the university, to think great and to think to the future for the benefit of all the humankind and also, of course, of the Italian nation. So with this kind of innovation spirit, I would like to introduce this on my intervention, that to give you some, you know, just information at a glance about the cyber situation, cyber just organization and problems and solutions within the defense, the Italian army, and generally speaking, in the military environment, but also looking at the Italian organization. So this is, of course, an immaterial domain, you know, and also is absolutely important sector to all the civilian and also military. So it's a comprehensive kind of domain that is a force or capability better multiplier, and allow now us to be at distance connected very well, allow to speed up process, to make things faster, and to do many things better to connect globally. And of course, this involves civilian, military, all kind, industrial wars, everyone, and the benefits are enormous. At the same time, the dark side of the medal, the other side of the medal, is also to be considered that it is possible as in the future, as it is in the past, that some malicious kind of elements, organization, even, you know, possibly also state organization or non-state organization, single actors can conduct attack privately or organized attack against an institution, against private people, and so on. So this is very important, and we have example. Sometime in the past, pressure was made to interstate pressure by deploying force, by make deterrence, by moving force or just conducting attack. Now we have seen, just to take into account the Ukrainian crisis that has been very much involved in 2014 and then again in 17 by a variety of actors to attack with malware and also to cause damage, not only on government election and so on, but also to the private industrial with the damage of billions of dollars. As well, the Iran kind of attack and damage of the Iran nuclear facilities. This was also some years ago conducted in order to decelerate or to neutralize very much the production of enriched uranium and so on. These are two examples, but it's not to be considered to be used in isolation, but to be used in a composition of system of kind of actions that can also offend single people or the organization. So to be short, I think that we need a comprehensive civilian military of just involving all the components of our society, but also international kind of cooperation to be able to understand better and to solve and to exploit opportunity together for the positive, on the reverse to be stronger together in order to be more resilient to any attack. And then the Italian organization, it is, I think, very well known. And in the year 2000, we started as well as NATO, the alliance, our main alliance, the North Atlantic organization, we started to think about, to focus on the problem since 2002, NATO, and we started to just study the new domain, and then we ended up in 10 years later with the so-called Monti Decree. Decree is a law that just depicted the present organization, the structure of the cyber system in Italy. It is a system that is just steered by the Prime Minister, the Presidente of Consiglio dei Ministri, and each minister has his own organization, and there is also a series of committee, but also a computer and cyber emergency response team and coordination to each kind of minister. In the defense, we are, according to the NATO directives and also European directives, and to the Italian directives, we are organized since, I think, 8 years ago in the defense organization with a command and a quarter, is a smaller quarter, a command that coordinates all the joint operation in cyber domain, mostly oriented to the defense and to the control and to the management of incident and also emergency kind of situation. So this is at the defense staff, but also at the army level. And within the Italian army, we have this organization just coming down from the top to the single units that are even deployed in operation. So we there is a double kind of element of monitoring and quick response to incidents that is connected with a unit deployed on the field and with a national, let's say, network that connect all the army quarter, the defense quarter as well. So this is a kind of things that we need, and we are organized. We have a unit that used to be signal unit, electronic warfare signal unit. Now they are also cyber unit, and they are prepared to protect our net communication and to also be ready to respond and to neutralize any attack. And this is something that it is every day monitored, every day possibly reinforced, and is an all kind of a sector, joint interministerial effort. And I would like to say something about the present and the future environment. I think that the modern way of conducting any kind of activity, but let's focus on the defense sector. In the future, we have seen already, we can see conventional attack. We can see, platform, aircraft, ships moving and also making something, and also kinetically or not. But we will not see physically the many attempt to neutralize, to enter, to get information, and to be pervasive in our network. This will cause a great deal of damage. Can we imagine in the environment that we live now in our cities, big cities? So there are situations that could be social arrest, could be terrorist attack, could be anything. And that there is the necessity, the requirement for a force, being police or being army or defense, to control, to make peace or to monitor. And then how can we be connected? How can we defend against attack in the cyber domain, in the communication, command and control and everything? So we have developed a kind of vision for, it's not for the future, we call the future of operation environment 2035. We have had the honor to present these on the 5th of December, and I would like to thank Professor Meneghesso and Professor Menegatti that were present in Rome. And so there was the introduction of this kind of problem, because it's a problem for the future, but it's also a problem for the present, that we are trying to make a new paradigm, a kind of modern way of connecting, protecting our force that could be able to command, control, to explore, to neutralize, to do many actions in a very complex environment, in a big cities or in a humanized kind of environment. This is a challenge for the future. Think about that. We have mini drones going on. They are remotely controlled. We have communication, global positioning system. We have satellite communication. We have radio. We have any kind of thing, internet and so on. How the commander could be able to decide, having all the information required and not any interference or even the line cut for hours or a blackout for days. That could happen if any kind of attack is against our civilian also installation. So this is the big problem that we have posed, and I think that this is one way to work together. And there are many working groups that we are conducting. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic just stopped a little bit us to proceed very quickly, but we are now starting again. And this is, in practical terms, one way of just dealing with the problem. The other way is a constant education and training of the present elements that we have in the Army. 2 years ago, I decided to constitute a unit called the Cyber Defense Unit. This is very interesting to understand that we just enrolled young people, capable. They had many opportunities to be formed, to be educated. We send them also in some industrial research center as well. We have links with other university in Italy and abroad, other centers that are inside our allies. And in less than 2 years, with these very smart young guys, we managed to be in the front line of the capability, internationally speaking, because we had some very good results as well. But this is nothing. This is just the beginning. We would like to have the possibility to give a contribution for this, to receive additional training information. And I believe that I'm sure that some of the future students of the master of the cyber security master that is inside now the Padua University will be for sure belonging to the Italian Army. I'm very proud to announce this. If we can, we will be very, very happy to do so. But it is also a continuous process of update, formation, training that it is and should be conducted all together. I would like to underline one more thing before concluding. The importance of single human people, personnel. We speak about, some firewall protection with monitoring, with just everything that could give us a certain degree of security, response, protection, neutralization. We should dedicate very much time to the integrity of the personnel, the ones that they approach the machine, they are the first to be reliable, to be ethically formed, and also to be loyal. And I think that this is another effort that we should make. And I just go to the conclusion. I'm ready also to answer some question, if any. I would think that I had the motto when I still have. So this is, I would say in Italian, noi ci siamo sempre, and the second one, di più insieme. So it's more together, the second one. I think this more together, it is also a kind of a mantra that should inspire all of us, because this is an effort that could be a winning factors only if all the components of the Italian institution, Italian Center of Research, university, institution like mine, the defense, army, and so on, they will be synchronized. I think that there are the conditions. There is the law that plays to the Presidente del Consiglio, the Prime Minister organization, and to the Department of the Information Security that Dr. Baldoni may be telling you something more. We have this framework. We should use this alongside the commercial world, the banks, the industry, the manufacturing kind of sector, the research center, the schools, the university, to make a step forward. I think that as was said before, in this very short time, we have had the demonstration how much we can do if forced to do in a rapid time with good result. And this is also an opportunity that we should exploit for the future. Again, thank you to everyone. A great salute to the future student. I feel still young in my spirit, and I hope this spirit will inform and inspire all the future student, the professor of the university, the great University of Padua. Thank you very much.
And also of the NATO. Again, thank you very much, General Farina, for your view about the cybersecurity, for the Italian Army, for the NATO. And thanks again also for underlining the importance of people being the front line for the security, even before the technology, which is something we try to address also in our degree. Thanks again for being with us today. It's really a great honor. I would like to make an announcement for those that are attending the event through YouTube. If you want to ask a question, you can use the YouTube chat, and we'll try to get your question and pass it on to the panelists. I didn't see questions so far, so also we have a bit short on time. So meanwhile, I will move on with our next speaker, which is Professor Baldoni, Deputy Director General and Head of Cybersecurity, Department of Information for Security of the Italian Presidency of the Council of Ministers. Professor Baldoni, the floor is yours.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, good. So I was chair at the of the engineering and computer science course, and actually was the first time where we moved in Sapienza University a class and actually a course in English language. So that's why it's always a pleasure for me to see that there are many other courses all around Italy that are following this kind of approach. And the second, why I'm very happy about this, is that here we are celebrating a new course in cybersecurity. And why this is very important for the nation. I heard Generale Farina that state a lot of very important notion that I completely subscribe, but the main point is that we need actually in Italy much more expertise in cybersecurity with respect to technicians, with respect to research, with respect to the academic environment in general. So that's why every time we see a new diploma that starts in this domain, so it's a very good news for our country. So of course, filling the gap of expertise, it's an imperative that we need in any country, actually, not only in Italy. This is a huge problem in any Western country. So this is why I think universities are looking promisingly to this specific field. But on the other hand, the cybersecurity is so impacting in the everyday life that what I could expect at the time you will be graduated is that the opportunity for working and for doing career and excellent career in this domain will just amplify in the next future. If you think at cybersecurity at the large, I mean, it's so impacting in any of the activity that we run every day. If we just consider, for example, that less than 6 months ago, the government issued a specific bill on cybersecurity, namely the perimetro di sicurezza nazionale cibernetica, which actually go to define a perimeter within which putting and listing assets, ICT assets, that are actually the base of our economy, of our national security more in general. So this is to testify that, I mean, if we compare to 10 years ago, all the activity that are underpinning the economy, underpinning the social activity in any country is actually built on a digital infrastructure. And this has been amplified also by the COVID-19 outbreak that move on the cyberspace most of the work. And I think that also in the future, we will go to see more and more working from home rather than, you know, what we ever seen in the past. So from this perspective, our field has been enlarged a lot. So coming back to the bill on the perimeter for national security, I think this is really a turnaround point, because we are actually saying that if you have an ICT asset that is underpinning some essential function of the state, this has to be, you know, in the perimeter, so to be compliant at very strong security measure. And of course, this creates the ground for, you know, opportunities of different kind. Research, in principle, because we need to have in the perimeter definitely, let's say, cut-edging technologies in order to best defend with respect to the attacker. For technicians, from the point of view of how to maintain, how to establish this security measure, we need a lot of, you know, expertise and of different kind around this thing. And never forget that cybersecurity is a sport team. Of course, technicians are, let's say, at the center of this world, but you cannot do anything if you don't have a very good legal expert, psychologist, you know, sociologist, and all this kind of, you know, expertise specifically on cybersecurity that give the added value to the overall picture. So I would expect plenty of opportunity in the future. I would expect a great career, and I hope that many of you will do this career. I'm talking, of course, to prospective students, or will do most of this career in Italy. So my role in the Italian administration, in the Italian government, is actually the one of the coordinator of the cybersecurity defense. So, which is quite interesting, because I was, you know, professor in computer science. At a certain point, I was picked up and put in at the forefront of these big issues, as Generale Farina said, that needs coordination, that needs, you know, answer that have to be horizontal with respect to all the different part of the economy, of the society. And I think that in these 2 years since I was in charge, Italy did so many progress that I am really proud and happy about that. We achieved more than 1 year ago to the delivering of the NIS directive that has been accepted by the Italian law. It has been, you know, the first big step that actually arrived in June 2018. And I was so happy that after 6 months, we were at the head of the European nation with the implementation state of this directive, which means that we took the sector that were included in the NIS directive. I can mention energy, there is watering, there is finance, there is, you know, all this kind of sector. And we were able to write security guidelines for each of this sector. And now we are in the phase of starting inspection in order to see if the what we call essential services of a country respect the security measure that we impose during the implementation of the law. And again, we are really in the front line with Germany and with other smaller countries. And for us, you know, starting really, I want to say from scratch, but, you know, we didn't have a deep understanding here of what's going on in the cybersecurity issue till 2016. I think we did a big step. Now, just to give you an idea of what we are doing at the EU level, we are actually proposing together with France a new architecture for handling large scale incident that is based on a specific point of control, operative control, that is done between the CIRT network, which is the one in which you exchange technical information, and the political network, that is the one that is being done in Brussels when you have large-scale incident happening. So we are actually proposing more and more things at the EU level that are, let's say, that comes from our experience in assembling and developing the national cybersecurity architecture. So from this perspective, I would expect in the future, you know, an enlarge of employment in the field. I would expect an enlarge of research opportunity in the field. We want definitely to establish, and we have a specific sector that does this inside the organization that I am proud to lead, that look at how to put together research and industry and academia. And we do this for the entire system country. So the organization to which I belong, which is DIS, the Department of Information Security, as one was mentioned before by Mauro, is actually, you know, coordinating all the activities 360 degrees around cybersecurity. So starting from how to put together all the effort and going in the same direction with all the organization of Italy. Then we also look at how to, you know, enforce the cooperation with industry and academia. And I think that we had a lot of success, and certainly the system country of Italy is now moving in a same direction in any international table where we are involved in. So it's important to you know, understand where did we start. It's important to understand the path that we want to follow. It's important to go into our objectives, real objectives. And what is our objective is to create a coordinated cyber defense system, because you know, we really need to play together. There cannot be a single organization that is able to answer to a huge attack that you know, we try to be ready to respond to. All the organization has to cooperate deeply in order to assure that the Italian economy at large would be able to, you know, evolve to be more resilient to this kind of new world that we actually see very clear in the future, and but we are already now involved, completely involved in. So it's important to start this new course with a big enthusiasm. It will be, from my perspective, very exciting. I mean, when I was in my previous appointment as a researcher, I was so excited to study this kind of problems where, you need to be stronger than an attacker and to try to figure out how to create resilient infrastructure in order that the adversary will be able to, or us to, spend a lot of effort and resources in order to break the system. And when you are able to define a specific algorithm, or you are able to define a specific theory with theorems, and that are able to show theoretically and let's say from an engineering point of view that your algorithm, your architecture, your system is able to resist to such a strong attack, it's a big achievement. It's a big achievement not only for you, it's a big achievement for the country, because we show that we are able to produce things that are important for the world. I was, for example, very happy of the fact of hearing that yesterday we were one of the first countries of the world to launch this contact tracing app. I think it's a good sign, respecting all the privacy issue, as also witnessed by the data protection officer of Italy. So all this make me optimist with respect to the future. We need an Italy that is able to innovate, that is not stuck in any kind of how I can say a political querelle, or stuck in things or deadlocked in things that no one understands. It's important to show that Italy is ready to accept the challenge of the future. Of course, the challenge of the future is digital space, but in order to have a digital space where you can really put inside an economy that is able to develop in a safe way, you need professionals of cybersecurity. This is true now, this will be true in the future. So what I want to tell is that first I want to thank my colleagues of the University of Padua for realizing this new experience for students at the University of Padua. I will be very happy to support any action in order to improve the number of students that will go to attend this class, because again, huge opportunity for career, very challenging topic. And I want to say two last things. First, try to involve women as much as you can. This is one of the big issues that we have, not only at Italian level, but also at, it is something present in any Western country that I share with my colleagues. We cannot lose half of the potential, the prospective candidate for some strange reason. We really want women working, engaging in cybersecurity in order to make our nation safer. The second thing is that, you know, our department is fully engaged with the programs with the university, and especially we support the Cyber Challenge program, which is actually a program for cybersecurity that start involving young talent from 16 to 22 years old. I think that Padua, I'm sure, is definitely inside this specific program. And for us, this is very important because it's a way to direct workforce inside diplomas, new diplomas like the one that Padua is doing. And I did this in Rome as my last job inside the Sapienza University before joining this new position at the Department of Information Security. And, you know, from this perspective, I know the effort that all the professors there are, you know, doing and are spending in order to achieve the best result for students. So I want to thank again the rector of the University of Padua that supported this, Mauro, and all the other colleagues that are, you know, very strong in the sector. I'm sure that they will organize a great course where you can really improve your capabilities, your expertise, and getting into this new arena where we really need fresh bodies. That's it.
Okay, thanks a lot, Roberto, for sharing the view from you and your important government organization. And thanks also for your contribution as a person from the academia, representative from the academia, for the contribution you are giving now to the national security. And thanks also for underlining the need and the effort to align and to have more women in cybersecurity. We know this is difficult in general for computer science and engineering, and that also applies to cybersecurity. We'll put particularly effort in our new degree. Thanks a lot. I would now move to the next speakers. We have Isabella Fusiello, Police Commissioner of Padua, and together with Sergio Russo, Head of Postal and Communication Police Department for Veneto. So benvenuta alla dottoressa Fusiello, questore di Padova, e Sergio Russo, capo della Polizia Postale del Veneto.
Buongiorno a tutti, il mio intervento purtroppo sarà in italiano perché ho una conoscenza piuttosto scolastica dell'inglese, quindi me ne scuso per questo. Rivolgo un cordiale saluto al rettore professor Rosario Rizzuto e al suo staff per l'iniziativa di oggi tesa a presentare il nuovo corso di laurea in Cyber Security, tema quanto mai attuale in una società in continuo cambiamento. Mi piace ricordare una famosa frase di Eraclito quando disse che l'unica costante è il cambiamento. Non poteva certo immaginare che le sue parole sarebbero diventate famose dopo 2500 anni. In effetti i ritmi sono aumentati costantemente, sempre più velocemente nel tempo. Man mano gli investimenti delle aziende in trasformazione digitale aumentano, cresce anche il ritmo del cambiamento cui devono allinearsi i team IT aziendali, responsabile aziendale che definisce e coordina l'area Information and Technology di un'impresa. Per gli esperti di cyber security che lavorano in questi ambienti, stare al passo con i cambiamenti può rivelarsi complesso. Ci sono diverse tendenze in atto che possono influenzare sulla sicurezza e tutte possono entrare in gioco in qualsiasi momento e la cyber security riveste ormai da qualche anno un'importanza strategica da tutelare con strumenti efficaci e con elevate professionalità. Non per questo il Dipartimento della Pubblica Sicurezza, in ragione dei continui cambiamenti, ha da alcuni anni investito sulle risorse della Polizia di Stato, elevando le professionalità della Polizia delle Comunicazioni attraverso la costante organizzazione di corsi di specializzazione per gli investigatori informatici, affidandosi anche alla collaborazione di prestigiose università e aziende che esercitano la loro attività nel settore dell'information and communication technology. L'evoluzione impressionante della minaccia terroristica informatica, che come si evince da autorevoli fonti del settore, quali il rapporto Closit, sta mettendo a dura prova le reti telematiche ed i servizi delle aziende pubbliche e private, e ciò impone una stretta sinergia fra tutti gli stakeholders del settore. Le tipologie degli attacchi sono sempre più sofisticati e i danni causati dagli stessi sempre più ingenti, e ciò costringono gli attori a investimenti nel campo della security sempre più rilevanti. Per dare una concreta risposta alla cyber war, la Polizia di Stato ha negli ultimi anni puntato sulla partnership tra le strutture specializzate della Polizia Postale e delle Comunicazioni e i soggetti che offrono servizi essenziali, sia nel pubblico, si pensi al settore della salute, dell'istruzione e degli enti pubblici locali, e che a quello privato, con prevalenza per i settori che offrono servizi di fornitura di energia, acqua, comunicazioni, trasporto e quelle del settore finanziario. I protocolli stipulati hanno consentito di affinare pratica di info sharing, indispensabili per scambiare utilissime informazioni per prevenire in modo efficace gli attacchi dei cybercriminali e migliorare il proprio know-how attraverso dedicati incontri di formazione. La sfrenata evoluzione delle reti internet e la completa digitalizzazione degli interlocutori, sia nel settore privato che pubblico, hanno imposto una completa rivisitazione della strategia per offrire una risposta sempre più qualificata ed efficace alla minaccia cibernetica. E proprio in tale ambito nazionale la metamorfosi si è avuta nel corso degli ultimi anni con l'istituzione di un centro nazionale anticrimine informatico per la protezione delle infrastrutture critiche e con la realizzazione a livello regionale anche di nuclei operativi di sicurezza cibernetica che consentono di offrire un'immediata risposta in sede a seguito di attacchi informatici quali APT e simili che causano vere e proprie interruzioni di servizi. Anche sotto l'aspetto normativo, rilevante è stata la produzione di provvedimenti che hanno consentito l'allineamento della legislazione italiana a quella emanata in sede europea, partendo dalla cosiddetta direttiva Network Information Security, recante misure volte a garantire un livello comune elevato di sicurezza delle reti e delle informazioni nell'Unione Europea, e questa è diventata legge nel novembre scorso con l'istituzione di un perimetro di sicurezza nazionale cibernetica. Ne ha già parlato ampiamente il dottor Baldoni. Senza scendere nel dettaglio degli aspetti normativi, è bene far presente che l'attenzione alla materia della sicurezza informatica da parte del legislatore italiano ha avuto un ultimo e importantissimo sussulto nel recente periodo di lockdown, anch'esso caratterizzato da pericolosi rilievi nel settore della sicurezza informatica. E proprio con provvedimento del 19 maggio, meglio conosciuto come decreto rilancio, è stata istituita la Direzione Centrale per la Sicurezza Cibernetica, con il compito di coordinare e di dare impulso alle attività svolte dalla Polizia delle Comunicazioni nel delicatissimo settore strategico della sicurezza delle reti informatiche. Credo infine sia importante sottolineare come la collaborazione avviata nel 2018 tra la Polizia di Stato e l'Università di Padova abbia portato un valore aggiunto nel settore della sicurezza informatica e della formazione a favore di entrambi gli organismi coinvolti. Lo scambio di informazioni utili a prevenire attacchi informatici ha visto gli attori condividere elevati numeri di alert nell'ultimo anno, nel 2019, e analizzare strategie investigative in occasione di alcuni eventi che sono stati risolti attraverso questa stretta collaborazione e messa in campo di expertise di alto livello. Frequenti sono state inoltre le partecipazioni di esperti della specialità Polizia Postale e delle Comunicazioni a seminari e incontri per analizzare in forma anonima casi concreti di attacchi informatici ed implementare misure in grado di attuare concrete forme di prevenzione. Concludo con un augurio innanzitutto di buon lavoro e soprattutto, ecco, voglio dire che benvengono questi corsi di laurea tesi a creare nuove figure professionali che nel futuro saranno fondamentali per le aziende pubbliche e private per la gestione della sicurezza delle reti, visto e considerato, come abbiamo visto nel periodo del Covid, molti dipendenti pubblici, molte aziende private hanno utilizzato lo strumento dello smart working e visto e considerato che con un click oggi vengono svolte diverse attività fondamentali nel mondo dell'informatica. Grazie a tutti.
Thanks, Isabella Fusiello, again, Police Commissioner of Padova. I understand that Sergio Russo is not with you, right?
Credo anch'io parlo in italiano, credo abbia già detto tutto il signor Questore. Noi siamo qua e siamo a vostra completa disposizione per quello che sarà lo svolgimento del corso. Grazie.
Good, thanks a lot. Thanks also for Sergio Russo, and let me also underline the collaboration we have with the Postal and Communication Police and the University of Padova. I would now move on with the next set of speakers that are all from important companies. We start from Barbara Poggiali, Managing Director of the Cybersecurity Division of Leonardo Company. Thanks.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me? Yes. Okay, thank you very much. Good morning to everyone, and thank you to the university for inviting me, and thank you to the institutions for being part of this panel. I'm very honored to be speaking at this important event with many prestigious speakers. Just a few words on Leonardo and our cybersecurity division, and then I will talk a little bit about the scenario that we're operating in. And lastly, about people, especially because we're talking to students and new students who will be operating in cybersecurity in the future. Leonardo, as many of you know, is a name that symbolizes creativity and innovation. And so this is how our company operates. We operate in 5 dominions, which are part of aerospace, defense, and security, in air, land, naval, space, and cybersecurity, which is now one of the 5 dominions. The company is a large company, but not only we generate a lot of sales, over 13.8 billion euros, and we have just under 50,000 employees. But I think that information that is very relevant to new students, and especially to young people that are starting this new path, is to know how many countries we operate in. We operate in 150 different countries, which means that working with us gives you an opportunity to have a lot of international experience, and also how much we spend in R&D, which is an indication of how much innovation and technology we invest in. We spend 1.5 billion euros a year. This is very important, again, since you will be part of a engineering and math department, and we look forward to all the research that will also come out of this new program. In terms of our division, we are a new division. We're fairly young in the sense that this division was created by Leonardo in January of 2019. And because it is Leonardo's intent to focus on security issues. And our mission is to be the partner of choice of domestic and international players engaged on mission-critical applications, which require leading-edge integrated end-to-end security solutions. Despite the name cybersecurity of this division, we actually concentrate also on physical security, secure communications, and digital transformation, because we have a holistic view of the way that security operates. So we believe that there is more and more convergence between the physical and the cyber domain. And we all know that many attacks originate from maybe a physical source and impact the logical space, or vice versa. So this is why we have put together all these competencies within one division. We've seen, in fact, a lot of issues and attacks in the recent past. And we have many systems, for example, one of video analysis, which is based on deep learning, which measures the density of people and objects in physical areas. And in this period of the COVID emergency, we are using this to understand if there is a concentration of people, which, as we all know, is something that has to be discouraged. We analyze critical situations and support our clients in neutralizing physical and cyber attacks. Our division is organized by markets because we believe that the customer has to be at the center of everything that we do. And so we have organized ourselves in 3 market areas, one which is the police forces and homeland security, another one which is critical infrastructure and large enterprises, and the third one which operates with public administration, defense, and international agencies. Some of the people that have been on this panel this morning before me are in fact our partners many times. The division has a competence center, which is on cyber security and digital services, which operates 2 SOCs. SOCs are security operations centers, one in Italy and one in the UK, which are integrated. So again, this is an interesting opportunity for students to be able to see different international situations. These recent trends that we have seen in our SOCs have seen, as I mentioned, an increase in attacks. And we have seen, particularly in the period of COVID, an increment in the number of attacks on the healthcare sector, which are utilizing, in fact, part of the emotions of people, because the words COVID, emergency, pandemia are used as basically examples where people do searches and then get essentially attacked. We knew that this was going to happen in the sense that we could predict it from what we were seeing that was going on in the cyberspace. And then this was confirmed, in fact, in our reports that we've published in the last several months. The attacks that have been based on ransomware that our threat intelligence platform has seen in the last 60 days, we publish these reports every 2 months, have confirmed this trend. Almost 40% of the attacks in this period have been on the healthcare sector. At the same time, we have seen an evolution in terms of attacks based on ransomware. And through this scenario, I would like to give you a couple of topics to think in terms of how your learning might want to be in the future. And 3 lessons learned so that we can have a framework for looking at cybersecurity. It's important to, first of all, understand the threat, secondly, respond to it, and thirdly, be trained constantly. Regarding the first step, it is important when we're talking about threat intelligence to reach information superiority. And what do we mean by this? We mean the capacity to integrate and correlate data that comes from many different sources in order to obtain specific information that can be immediately used to adequately defend or put together defense tactics. We have been doing this, in fact, in our division this year with what we call an intelligence cycle based on a platform of cyber threat intelligence, tools for detection and response, and multi-sandbox. The second aspect of this framework that I was mentioning is the ability to respond. So incident response and crisis management. Why is this very important? Well, because we can never be 100% secure. Unfortunately, whatever we do, there can be human error, there can be mistakes, and so we can't be fully secure. So it's very, very important to be able to react properly when there is, in fact, a crisis. Certainly, and other speakers before me mentioned it today, in this period of more smart working, we have been more and more exposed to potential cyber attacks. And so it's important that especially companies and institutions are able to react properly to a potential attack. This means not only managing the actual attack to the technology, but also managing the crisis, because it is very important to respond in a timely fashion, particularly for companies and institutions where there is not only the risk of stopping business continuity, but there are also reputational risks, because certainly when some company or some institution is attacked, there is a risk of reputational damage. So for this part of the framework, we have a cyber crisis management plan that needs to be put in place, and we help our clients do that. We help them respond, for example, with what is called the CIR, the Computer Incident Response Team, and then we help them recover in the post-crisis phase. The third pillar of this framework is training. Training is very important. We have, in fact, put together a cyber training platform, which we originally developed also with the Defense Department. As you know, Leonardo is a partner of the Defense, and we always try to work with dual mode solutions whenever that's possible. We have a cyber trainer platform, which is in fact an e-learning platform, and we train our students, and we allow them to do exercises. And the platform also has a security awareness module, as well as a cyber simulation model, which we have in fact been running with these cyber challenges with a number of universities. So this is, again, very important to continue to do this, because you may be very well aware that cyber attacks are constantly changing. They're dynamic, they're not static. And so it is important to always be up to date and up to speed with what is going on in the web and in the dark web. I would like to conclude with a few remarks on people. People can be the cause of cyber attacks on the one hand, but also the defenders. In Leonardo, we very much focus on our people. And often when we talk about our activities, there is maybe more interest in the technological content of what we do. But the real drive behind innovation and excellence is our people. So we are always looking for passionate people, and especially young people that will help us drive innovation. I all the speakers before me expressed a lot of excitement and interest in this new course. We can never get enough good resources to join the company. And I think that's true not just for our company, but also for others and for the institution. And so we're very, very excited that the University of Padua, which is such an excellent center of research with a long tradition, has decided to activate this new course. And so we are very much looking forward to meeting the new students as they join, and hopefully be able to start internships and collaborations with all your projects. Thank you very much, and good luck to all the new students that will start next year.
Thank you, Dr. Poggiali, for being with us today and for underlining how cyber attacks are important. Even now that we are in difficult times with the COVID crisis, cyber attacks are even increasing. And thanks also for underlining the importance of training. And of course, we'll try to give our best contribution. Thanks for underlining the importance of people. And also, I hope we will have with Leonardo as well, with other companies in the panel, but all with the companies, we are in touch with our master degree. We're looking forward for a strong collaboration with companies. Thanks again. We now move on with the next speaker from ENI, Alfio Rapisarda, Senior Vice President, Security. Thanks.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'm grateful to the University of Padua and Director Professor Rizzuto and his staff for giving me today this opportunity to be present at this important day dedicated to cybersecurity. For a large company that operates with more than 30,000 employees in almost 70 countries around the world, all-around security is a must. In other words, security is not ancillary, but a basic activity of any company that runs a so-called responsible business. Consider that ENI has a presence in all continents of the world, and we run more than 500 sites, different kinds of sites, from offices to installations, onshore, offshore, with a large network that is interconnected from Italy to Africa to Asia to the extreme Far East and to the Americas. And that means that we have plenty of different technologies that are interconnected and managed through systems that most of you know, the so-called the green data center that we operate from Lombardia, which is one of the biggest data center in the world. And we just recently integrated the supercalculator, the HPC5, which is an impressive system that is able to carry 51, I have to read because it's complicated, 51.7 million of milliards of mathematical operations in 1 second. That is impressive also to say. But that means that data-driven companies and data and technology-driven company have that kind of need and that kind of infrastructure to run, but also to protect. By doing this, the company, of course, ENI is very keen on that. But this is a message for all companies. Doesn't matter if they are multinational or a small or medium company. Security is a must for everyone. And the important point is that we need to be fully aware not only of the opportunity for the growth and the success of a company, but we need to have also a full understanding of the risks that this path involves and the limits beyond which no business is justified or even admitted. It means that protecting people and physical facilities from external threats like terrorism, crimes, and social political disruptions, as we have to manage in different parts of the world, and also security in this new era of the digitalization means that we focus more and more on protecting also business information and cyber infrastructures in a proactive and prepared manner. It's a different way, a modern way, a new way for doing security, which is moving from the old stylish physical security only to something that goes into the virtual world of our perimeter that has to be protected not only through physical, but also through logic and to a systematic approach, which is linked to the cybersecurity world and to the cybersecurity activities. The advent of technology, of course, the automation and the digitization of many aspects of our life has radically changed our approach to this so-called global revolution. Internet itself has reached, I mean, probably half of the world population around the globe, and all we are hungry for connection, for media and social curiosity, as well as we are, say, used to live now in a comfortable, smart life. And thanks to this device interconnection, we went through, we are going through COVID-19 also with smart working in a very smooth manner. And this is not only a question of being organized, but also being happy and being prepared to work in a different way. And this is possible only using, of course, devices, connections, and tools that we probably in the past were not used to accept, or maybe we were looking at them as an enemy, as a strange and a dangerous thing. Nowadays, it's life-saving. Our companies, the energy sector in particular, which is strongly characterized, as said, by being a business, data, and technology-driven company, has been engaged for many years in the development of secure environments and infrastructures. But indeed, the digital transformation is increasingly discovering new frontiers in the use of technologies for asset integrity, protection of people, but also protecting the environment. So creating new opportunities also through a digitalization approach. But this means that the risk surface has become so large that the company is now obliged to equip itself with robust risk assessment tools capable of promptly grasping any sign of threat as much as possible in advance. That is probably the secret and the dream for every one of us. But in that case, if we are in advance, the threat may become a protective tool. So using the threat as something that we may become as a protection for the company itself. All this means widening more and more the technological base on innovation platforms that must be developed following security by design logic, anticipating from the very beginning, protection models, sometimes at the expense of business opportunities. Only in this way, the centrality of cybersecurity will be able to choose parallel paths, able to distinguish between opportunities and obligations, between resilience and approximation, between proactivity or reactivity. In other words, defining which is the best way to guarantee value to your company, to the company. And to do all this in the face of external threats of various origins and forms, like cybercrime, industrial espionage, and cyber attacks, it's necessary not only to continue investing in technology, but also to equip oneself with increasingly sophisticated skills, with resources prepared to face new challenges with the same intuitive and capable tools that external aggressors use. It was said just before by Professor Baldoni and by Dr. Poggiali that resources and human being go together. From one side, human being is critical, is crucial in all security organizational systems. But at the same time, the resources that we need to manage that kind of system is not only linked to the technology. For this, we have IT and infrastructure technologies and professionalities, but we need also people that understand other people, that understand the behavior, understand and can analyze what is going on inside the company and outside the company. This is a challenge, of course, and to support the entire ecosystem of cybersecurity, which is not made only by a single company, but it's a business chain, which involves, of course, companies, citizens, and national and international institutions that at the end of the day are the only one that have the authority and the tools to effectively fight against the distortions and illegalities. Cybersecurity, in other words, means as something that is essential as an enabling factor for the development and the exploitation of digital technology. And it's therefore linked to future prospects for growth, job creation, and environmental and societal goals. We see this when we talk about cybersecurity, not only in Italy and in Europe, but also in Africa and in the Middle East, where probably the approach on cybersecurity has a different perception, has a different layer of interaction between private and public sector, which is in our case, in the Italian and European case, something that is paramount, and without that cooperation, nothing will be really effective as we want. So the big challenge is a shared cybersecurity strategy that should be structures to meet the immediate, mid and long-term security requirements, to strengthen the whole ecosystem, protect the critical infrastructure, and build capabilities needed to ensure a satisfactory level of strategic digital autonomy, both in terms of new technological developments and of mastering digital technologies to better meet all the other challenges related to the world of cybersecurity. For instance, Internet of Things, 5G, artificial intelligence, and blockchains. The model of ENI, as a proactive company that knows when it's time to change, ENI has been doing this so far for some years now, thanks to a very strong commitment coming from the board and the CEO. Without that commitment, nothing is really efficient and applicable as we want. We have, thanks to that, acted at a lever to modulate new organizational approaches, acquiring skills and technologies that are increasingly cutting edge and above all capable of keeping pace with criminal changes. It's a matter of being prepared. We cannot leave more room for improvisation, and this is still a problem here in Italy in different areas also of corporations and medium and small companies. On the contrary, we need to work on the no longer remote perspective of preventing and not suffering. When we are attacked, it's too late. This is the message that we underline every time we need to talk about cyber defense, about cybersecurity and investment in that sector. What we did in our model was to making security in a modern vision, aiming not only to protect the physical spaces, as I said before, but also the virtual spaces of the networks and the data that travel in them. We made a cyber defense organization, which is a mix between IT, cybersecurity, professionality and organization, and cyber intelligence, which is made by security through cybersecurity analysts that work in specific on the threat management model, which is, as I said, the first and the most important layer on understanding where you are, on how vulnerable is your system. The layer that we follow are very simple. Proactivity means threat intelligence models, so analyzing information, analyzing data, analyzing events around the world, not only affecting you, but affecting others, and understanding how that threat, how that risk may be putting and jeopardizing your company if you are not adequate in organization and technology. And of course, developing reactivity, which is not only react when it's too late, but you need to reduce response time, which is also another way to get the disruption less complicated, less expensive, but also to guarantee business continuity and disaster recovery. You need to practice. This is something that we forget. We have a lot of procedures, we have a lot of technology, but then we forget to train. We forget to understand through drills what I need to do and what I can do if it happens. And when we practice together with all the other members of the crisis management team of the company, we learn something. We understand there is something to improve, that there's something to change. And procedures become effective when you are doing this kind of activity, which is really not expensive, is not time consuming, but it's something that people forget very often. Training and awareness raising was said just before. It's not only a question of getting new resources, new skills, new competencies from the academia or from the market, but it's also a question of training people. Company employees are the first layer of security of itself and of the company. If people understand that the own behavior may be a very crucial point when it comes to accepting a risk, then people understand how to avoid the risk itself. And sometimes it's easy to show people what not to do or what to do, but at the same time it's things that it's something that remains in mind and becomes more effective, sometimes more positive than an expensive tool that we can implement or an antivirus or something like that. This point is very crucial for us, and we invest hours and hours from the top level of the management down to the last employee, to the receptionist and the people that in the supply chain are working with us. This is something that I wanted to underline. Of course, compliance was said. We need to be aligned with rules, with procedures. And in Italy, as Professor Baldoni said before, we have done a good path at European level and at Italian level. Sometimes Italy is seen as the one that goes less speed, has less speed in doing things. But in the matter of cybersecurity, there is a lot of things to do, of course. But I think that we have done very important steps ahead in the ruling and the liabilities and the cooperation between private and public sector. Partnership is therefore something that absolutely we consider the win-win point, because we can have whatever we want in terms of technology, in terms of expertise, but if we work alone, we are lost. Working in synergy and sharing with all the partners, the regulatory and operational part is something that is giving the add-on on all the goals that we have. It is not only to protect the business interest, the private interest, but is to protect the national interest in all forms from any risk that may arise. In Italy, I said, we are working very hard to ensure a robust cybersecure environment. I think that there is some points. There are some points that we need to strengthen, which is not only linked to the cybersecurity, to the European cybersecurity industry, of course, but we need to promote trust, not only between member states, but also between the industry and between the industry and the public sector. When it comes to cybersecurity and to cyber risks, trust is something that is always a question mark. And this is a point where we are working very hard, at least at the industry level, to make sure that whatever is the event, whatever is the incident we are dealing with, is something that, if it's shared, it's a defensive way to avoid to be attacked and to avoid further attack. Facilitate crisis management, as said, is the other point, where bureaucracy cannot be working together with cyber. It's absolutely the opposite. So dealing with a flexible and a very strong crisis management means doing it rapidly, quickly, of course, compliant, but at the same time avoiding extreme bureaucracy that is time-consuming. At the end of the day, gives an important opportunity to attackers that are absolutely without any problem, without any rule, and without need to work during daytime or nighttime. They have no shift. They can work when they want and from where they want. This is all just to underline what was said also from other colleagues here today, is that, of course, cybersecurity is not an option. I think it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for students. It's an opportunity for companies. It's a need for a new approach on our cyber life, where the technological aspects is dealt by competencies that are already existing, already defined. What we need to understand is that cybersecurity goes also through cyber intelligence, through conoscenza, knowing what is going on around the world. And this is something that gives the opportunity also to students that have a different non-technological background. Just to underline how important is, for instance, the geopolitical analysis also when dealing with cybersecurity. It seems they seem to be two different things, far away from each other, but it is not, because if we have a region in the world where there is a political trouble, there is a conflict, or there is a struggle which is driven by economical, social, or political interest or military interest, cybersecurity is moving on. People may take advantage from that situation for entering and profiting in terms of cybercrime, but there are state-driven interests that may damage third parties. And energy sector, of course, is one of the most important sector in each country, and they can become a target even if they are not really the target. In this sense, cybersecurity is something that brings in all the actors that are around the table today, the virtual table today. So the private sector, the public sector, army, police, and the academia. And I really thank the University of Padua for this initiative. And of course, we may support as much as possible also as ENI. Grazie.
Thank you very much, Dr. Apisarda, for sharing the view of the important aspects of cybersecurity for ENI. Thanks a lot. I would now move on to the next speaker, which is Dr. Fabio Ugoste, Head of Cybersecurity and Business Continuity Management, Group Information Security Officer for Intesa Sanpaolo.
Hello, everybody. My name is Fabio Ugoste. I'm the Head of Cybersecurity and Business Continuity for the Intesa Sanpaolo Group. I'm also the Information Security Officer for the group. First of all, I'm sorry not to be in presence, but because of the importance of this event, with this video, I wanna ensure my contribution. So today, I will talk about cybersecurity challenges and opportunities. Here I have some slides. We will see what does it mean do cybersecurity in a group like Intesa Sanpaolo. We will see which are our priorities, how we are organized, and which are people and skills we are looking for now and also in the future. First of all, Intesa Sanpaolo Group is an international group with more than 40 billion of market capitalization. Of course, this is directly connected to the share value. We are a leader in Italy with more than 12 million of customers, more than 3,900 branches, and a market share of 12%. We have a strategic international presence of with about 7 million of customers and more than 1,000 branches. In this group, about the cybersecurity presence, we can say that, of course, we have people in every place around the world in which we have branches or banks. Altogether, we are about 220. In the headquarters, the parent company, there are 150 people that manage cybersecurity and business continuity. Something about our mission, values, vision. We define and enforce groups' cybersecurity policies and guidelines. We define groups' business continuity solution in collaboration with the IT department. We foster strategic initiatives and investment on a risk-based approach. We define solution to protect the group, define and implement solution, provide an integrated guidance, coordination and control model on all the entity of the group. We safeguard the business data and information of Intesa Sanpaolo, enable and support the digitalization of products, services, and process. We manage cybersecurity incidents, crises, and emergencies. And in this period, we are managing the coronavirus emergency. At the end, we create and dispense a risk-based culture across the organization. I underline the cyber culture. That is something really, really important we are working on. Cybersecurity pillars of Intesa Sanpaolo, which are our driver, our pillar. We have four main drivers. Fundamentals excellence. That means try to reach the highest level of excellence, doing the things that we know from ever that we have to do as fast as possible, as better as possible. Sensitivity and dynamism means to develop, to improve the ability to detect and understand even the weakest signal of cyber attack as soon as possible. Culture and awareness. I already underlined that is a very crucial point. Awareness cyberculture training is an enabler of cybersecurity by design. In the end, group governance. We have to be able to give the same level of protection to the whole group with an extended governance in order to improve the cyber resilience and the cyber posture. Few words about our organization. We have an organization divided in three main groups. The first group under the responsibility of Giorgio Cusma, that manage the cybersecurity business continuity strategy and group governance. In this group, we have people that manage strategic intelligence, cyber culture, control, risk analysis, and that work to implement what we call cybersecurity by design. The second team is managed by Ezio Barbero. It's dedicated to the project, to the technology, to the architecture. In this group, we choose, select, develop solution, architecture, project at the group level. The third team, managed by Angela Formasari, the team dedicated to the services, to the most operational part. In this team, we have the ethical hackers, the hunter, we have the threat intelligence, the anti-fraud management, and so on. In our activities, we have a constant monitoring, constant evaluation about which are the relevant risk scenario that we have to manage, not only now, but also in the next month. This is a strategic intelligence activity. In this moment, the picture that we have is telling us that the priority worldwide are the regulatory evolution. Around the world, there are constantly a lot of regulations that are rising, and a group like us that is present in different countries. We are in the United States, in Europe, in Japan, in China, and so on. We must be sure to be completely aligned with the regulation in the different countries. So this is something that we are doing, but it's something that we have to control very, very strictly. The insider risk is an old risk scenario that the banks have. Cloud adoption. Cloud adoption is a strategic target. Everybody, I think, of you have read in the newspaper the memorandum of understanding that we have signed together with Google and team. So also for us, it's a strategic target. From the cybersecurity point of view, we have to manage, keeping in mind that the cloud enlarge the surface that we have to protect, to cover. Then we have the customer frauds as a risk that is rise a lot during the coronavirus crisis because of the phishing. We see worldwide an explosion of the phishing attack because of the vulnerability of the people. We have the data breach that is a consequence of what we have seen till now. And social engineering, also this is direct connected to the customer frauds. The critical human factor, again, I told you the cyber culture is a key. The human factor is a key. So we can say that in cybersecurity we have to think at the security, the strength of a group is like a strength of a chain in which the weakest ring is the one that gives the total strength. So human factor can be considered the weakest link of the chain. So we have to work a lot on this, also because we constantly see that all the frauds that happen are caused because people, customers, gives credential to the frauders. So human factor is the key point. So we can say that cybersecurity challenges worldwide are cyberculture, I've already said, data protection, that means have the right data classification, data processing, mapping, and multi-factor authentication. Cybersecurity control is fundamental. Implement a strong controls at the group level, because this is the insurance about the posture, about the protection, about the solution that we have implemented. Business continuity, it's something on which we have worked a lot in the past. We use it in these weeks of coronavirus crisis, but in these weeks we understand that the technology, the smart working, give us the chance, give everybody the chance to think the business continuity probably in a little bit different way in the future. So this will be something on which everybody in the world will work on. Physical security, of course, cloud security management, I told you already, and the shadow IT. Shadow IT is another important thing because shadow IT means in an organization I can have a lot of IT solution or devices that are not official, so are not controlled and are not under the monitoring of the company. This could be an important vulnerability point. Now, let's talk about what probably interests a lot the audience. Cybersecurity careers. I think that everybody read every day on the newspaper, on the news, on the social, that the cyber industry is growing like any other. The business, large or small, rely on data, rely on digital. That means that cybersecurity, so the way in which I protect that data, the digital process, is fundamental. There are different numbers, but around the world, we can say that millions of unfilled positions will be in the next month, will be presented in the next month. In Europe, there are statistics that say that there will be a skills shortage of more than 350,000 workers. So, which are the people we are looking for? Which are the skills? We need people in all the teams I showed you before. In the governance role, that means risk management, business continuity, disaster recovery, strategic intelligence, cyber culture. In technical roles, so cybersecurity architect and engineer, cybersecurity application and software security. And talking about technical aspect, all the new technologies, so artificial intelligence, machine learning, crypto analyst, are all skills that are very, very important in cybersecurity. On the operational side, cyber intelligence, threat hunting analyst, anti-fraud specialist, vulnerability assessment penetration tester, forensic professional, ethical hacking. All these roles need now, but in the future more and more, will in all these roles we will need people that at the moment is really hard to find on the market. We search for specific skill, but we search also people with some characteristics, some we can say soft skill. We need people with courage, with the social impact, with the continuous learning appetite. Many of these aspects are features that can be acquired and developed through learning and training. Because in the digital world, more than in the past, it's important to have all these characteristics in order to be able to make things happen in the organization. Going a little bit more deeply, we can say that we search for people. These are characteristics not only fundamental for cybersecurity, but also for many other works. But I can say orientation to the results, ability to manage time workload, extraordinary situation, the ability to identify solution, of course, fluent English, and so on. I underline the last line, user experience. Today, much more than in the past, also the cybersecurity specialist must keep in mind that they have to think to very secure solution, but really, really easy to use, because in the digital world, we must be able to give to the customer, to everybody, solution very, very, very easy, but also at the same time, and this is the really difficult part, also solution very, very secure. So this is what we are looking for. This is all. Thank you for your attention, and I can say wish you all the best for this new, really important experience. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks also to Dr. Ugoste for sharing the view of the cybersecurity of Intesa Sanpaolo. We now move to our last speaker, Dr. Riccardo Barrile, Chief Information Security Officer from Ferrovie dello Stato Italiano. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Professor Rizzuto. It's a real pleasure for me today with you, not only to share our approach for cybersecurity, but also to share with you the skills that we need for cybersecurity in our organization. So I have prepared a very short presentation for you, and I can try to share my screen sorry, only one moment. Okay. So do you see the presentation? Okay. I want to try to share with you our path for cybersecurity. As railways, we are considered a critical infrastructure of the country, and for this reason, we need to use specific security measures to ensure the security of our passengers and our customers for the data, but not only, also for their travel. To be able to buy our tickets online and to use railway infrastructure at the maximum its possibilities. And in this chart, you can find the typically this classic descriptions of critical infrastructure. And the main goal is assure the business continuity of this critical infrastructure, because only a few minutes of vulnerability of this infrastructure damage the country systems. So I want to give you an idea of the number of our group. We are a large group that operates in various transport contexts. We are over 74,000 employees, with over 9,000 trains per day, and we carry over 600 million passengers every year. You can consider it more. Actually, we sell over 18% of our tickets on our e-commerce website. And in recent years, we have activated a strong process of digitalization for over all our services. So, well, unfortunately, the cyber risk is a product of a digitalization process, and therefore we are attacked for different reasons and by different actors, such as activism, cybercrime, insider, cyber terrorists, also for industrial espionage. And the typical threats are DDoS attacks, phishing in particular mode in this period under the crisis COVID, malware attacks, SQL injections, but also defacement. And the impact on our infrastructure typically are damage of our services or reputational damage also, but not solely, also industrial espionage. To respond at these threats, in the past, we created a centralized structure dedicated to the cybersecurity of the group. Actually, it's located within the Central Corporate Security Department. And in this chart, you can see the actual organization. We are a team composed of 33 internal persons and managing at the internal the core activities. We have also external support from certified partners, but not for core activities. Essentially, our cybersecurity structure is composed on 4 micro areas. Info sharing and compliance is dedicated to issue of policies and guidelines for the group and to the sharing of information between the various group structures and with external organizations. More is dedicated to the awareness program by e-learning platform for our employees, and to maintain the compliance with the actual law in order to national cybersecurity. So we have also the engineering and service management. This area is dedicated to design and operational management of our security solutions, and to introduce the concept of security by design on every project of the group, for infrastructure, for data network, for application, in general, on every ICT project. On cyber security operations, in this unit operates cyber security teams, an internal computer security emergency response team, and a lab for cyber security. The Cyber Security Operations Center is dedicated at security monitoring, event correlation, anomaly detection and classification, triage, and security assessment. So I want to underline that our latest generation of Cyber Security Operations Center was designed by internal resource. And we have, I said before, we have also an internal computer security emergency response team is dedicated to incident response, threat intelligence, security advisories, and also IOC and forensic analysis. More relations with institutions, agency, law enforcement for threats, and vulnerability and critical security incidents. Inside, we have a lab for cybersecurity dedicated to malware analysis, code review, security testing of critical ICT systems and devices, testing and validation of information security technologies. We adopt a proactive approach and use two correlation analysis systems equipped with artificial intelligence. For last, we have a project and program area is dedicated to project management and planning of all IT security projects, but also to the management of the structures budget. The financial management of the structure is very important to make the best use of a company's economic resource in this sector, and especially in a big company as Italia Railway. Our model, risk-based, is inspired on USA NIST framework, because the USA NIST framework identify five area, identify, protect, detect, response, and recovery. And we tried to translate this concept on our structures. Our model is active 24 hours, 7 days, and we have, in fact, identification, protection, detection, response, recovery area is located on 3 different levels. The first level of analysis represents our first line against the threats and identify the threat and assign a severity for apply the first protections. The second line is dedicated to the threat detections. And finally, we have an internal computer security emergency response team dedicated to response and contrast the attack. All phases of incident management are very tracked by an automatic framework that allow to have the incident report in real time. The computer security emergency response team is also responsible more for activating the escalation procedure towards internal management and for sharing information with the government office. The structure is a very important and continual and dynamic evolution. But we think the human factor is very important for us. For this reason, we try to summarize the skill that we need for our structure, and in particular on info sharing and compliance area. We usually recruit on the market ICT security governance specialists, typically more specialists on the process analysis. And in secondary engineering and service management, in general, we recruit security administrator, security architect, and security engineering. And for our clue area, we recruit these figures as security operations center analyst and security desk, cybersecurity analyst for first level and second level, cyber threat intelligence analyst. We have also penetration tester, malware analyst, and cyber security incident manager responder, and specialist for ICS SCADA security engineering, because we have a network of SCADA systems on our railway, and we protect it from our security operations center. And for last, public cloud security engineering. We have also for project program area, the project manager specialized also on financial path. So this is, I think it's very important to share with you these skills, because we think the connection with the academic field is very interesting to have ready the new professional, because actually it's difficult to recruit professional around on the market. My colleague Alfio Pesarda said before, said the human factor is the key, the solution. So we improve also the specific program of awareness for our employee and for our management. But the challenging is the human factor, the learn, to have the new professional ready able to operate into our structures. So I want to close my short presentation with a short movie of our structures. And I try to start it, and okay. Thank you for, sorry, stop share. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for this event. If you have any question, I'm here, and ciao a tutti.
Thanks also to Dr. Barrile for the nice view of cybersecurity for Ferrovie dello Stato Italiane. We are already beyond schedule, but I would like to have a question for our panelists. Possibly try to be very fast in your answers so we can catch up with the time. So the question is, what are the advices you would like to give to students that are actually embarking now to this, let's say, education program, but in general for a career in cybersecurity? Is there any from the panelists that want to take this question? Dr. Rapisarda from ENI?
Yeah, it's a good question. Complicated to answer because the world of cybersecurity is certainly a very important and constantly growing employment sector. We told this before, and finding skills is not such easy, and it's equally difficult to retain also resources that are attracted by very aggressive market competition. We as company, but I think everybody does, invest a lot in the development of resources, and losing them is never a good thing. We ask ourselves often, what should we do to keep them with us? People who are passionate about their job and are proud of being part of the company, they do not always give importance only to money and career when they make a choice. And working in a good, attractive environment means that you are in a community where you find your identity, your respect, your skills are duly recognized. It's never only a compromise. It's a choice of life. It's not only for experts, but also for new young students that are jumping into the working life. Also, change might be stimulating. Myself, I changed 3 times in my life, and I don't want to deny it's interesting, but normally I guess that there is a reason why you change or you choose to change, which is maybe only also money or career development, but probably people don't feel comfortable, and this is a fault of an unhappy cohabitation. It's like wife and husband. It happens. It's a fault of everybody. But the market is so open that you find a lot of people. You don't find the real one that you want, probably. But I guess that there is a lot of room, especially in the profiles that we look at as company in the universities, with people that come out from their studies, and I ask them, please jump into the world of work with the passion and the desire of those who never want to stop learning, to listen or to make experience, to gain experience. This is helping everybody to integrate and to grow seriously everywhere.
Thank you.
It's a question of efforts, doing your efforts at all time.
Thanks a lot. I don't know whether Dr. Poggiali from Leonardo want to add anything about advices for students.
Yes, gladly. Well, is quite big. We have 1,800 people in it, and as I said, we do work in not just in cyber, but in other aspects of security. My word of advice to students is always to try to get as much experience while you're studying, working as well. I was trained in the United States, and this is something that we grow up with. And also catching on what Dr. Rapisarda said before me, I don't think there's anything wrong with change and changing companies. I've certainly changed. It's a growing experience. It's enriching to work in different environments. So don't be fearful of change.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. And thanks to, again, to all the speakers, all the prestigious guests that we have today for this introductory event for our new master degree. We now actually move to the part of the event which is dedicated to the presentation of the organization and the content of the degree. And I guess this will be particularly of interest for prospective students And to let them feel comfortable, we'll actually start with some questions, even though we're not to grade them now. So I leave the floor to our cybersecurity researchers, Eleonora Losiuk, which we will start with some questions.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. So we're going to play a little questionnaire through Kahoot. I encouraged you to go to that website and to enter the PIN from your mobile device. That would be more comfortable. So let's wait for all the participants to join our questionnaire. Okay, 26 players. Let's wait a little bit more. On the YouTube live channel, we were around 85 participants. So I hope that at least half of you managed to join the questionnaire. So while waiting, I'm going to explain how it works. So basically, on your mobile device, you will see only 4 figures. Each figure is associated to the possible answer. But for reading the question, you have to see my screen or actually to listen to my voice. So on the mobile device, you will only see the answers and the questions are provided online from my screen. Okay, more people are coming. Let's wait for a couple of minutes more. I think we can start. No, more people are coming again. Okay, I think I can start. So let's start with the first question concerning cybersecurity. So it seems that according to the World Economic Forum, an infection disease has a probability equal to 30.8% to be the next worldwide fallout. Considering this, what do you think will be its is the probability associated to cyber attacks to be the next worldwide fallout? So the possible answers are 25.1%, 20.4%, 37.8%, or 40.1%. Give your answer. Let's see. What's your guess? So basically, the question is to compare cyber attacks to infectious disease like COVID, and whether the probability associated to cyber attacks is worse than for infection disease. Okay, seems that most of you answered. Let's wait for a few seconds more. So the right answer was 37.8%, and yeah, most of you got it. So good. We have an intermediate scoreboard, so EpiChicken seems to be at the top now. So next question is, what is the number of estimated available jobs in cybersecurity worldwide in 2021, according to you? Possible options are 0.5 million, no jobs available, 4 million, or 1.8 million. What do you think? Someone is left. Okay, so it seems that the right answer was 4 million jobs will be available in 2021 in cybersecurity, but most of you thought about a lower answer, lower number, which was 1.8 million. So there is actually more space for you for working in cybersecurity than you expected. Next question is, what is the percentage of women working in cybersecurity in 2019? 50%, 2%, 20%, or 13.5%? So I can include myself in this percentage, so at least there was no 0%. But let's see how many women were working in cybersecurity last year. Okay, the right answer was 20%, and you thought even a lower percentage, so only 13% of women were working in cybersecurity. We can definitely do better, so let's improve this percentage and statistics from now on. So next answer moves towards the Italian context, the Italian scenario, and considering in 2017, the number of employees in Italian cybersecurity companies were more than 5,000. What about 2019, according to you? So how many employees did we have last year? More than 20,000, more than 10,000, more than 2,000, or more than 17,000? Okay, so the right answer was 4 times that we had last year, 4 times the number of employees than in 2017, and most of you answered more than 17,000. So you were close, but who haven't chosen the right answer. So the next question is still in Italy, what is the occupation rate 1 year after the graduation in a master's degree in cybersecurity? So 95.4%, 98.6%, 97.2%, or 100%. So basically, if it is 100%, it means that everybody studying, any student that is going to get a degree, a master's degree in cybersecurity, is going to have a job 1 year after the graduation. That would be a good shot. So let's see what you think about it. And the answer was 100%. And yeah, most of you got it. So also studying cybersecurity is the good choice if considering that 1 year after the graduation you're going to have a job for sure. Next question, still in Italy, how much do you expect to earn 3 years after your graduation? So possible choices are 1,600 euros per month, around 1,400 euros per month, 1,800, or more than Mr. Robot, which is also a good choice. I guess that many of you are Googling how much Mr. Robot earns to compare with him in order to answer this question. So let's see what is the right answer. Yeah, okay, so most of you got it. After 3 years, 3 years after your graduation, you're going to earn, on average, 1,800 euros per month. Now, looking into the University of Padova, how do you learn cybersecurity at the University of Padova? I mean, there are different possible options. One is also through capture the flag competition. You can't learn cybersecurity at all, so don't lose your time. Only through theoretical books or only through traditional lectures. So the point is whether cybersecurity is a subject that you can learn only through traditional lectures and theoretical books, or are there different ways to learn it? So some of you might already be capture the flag competition players, and yeah, this is the right answer. So for those who don't know what are CTFs, those are basically competitions in which you are given some challenges, cybersecurity challenges, during which you have to find the flag, that this time is not the, let's say, physical object, but just a string that is hidden somewhere in a software, and you have to break it in order to achieve the flag. Next question. So what is the name of the first Italian training program in cybersecurity for young students? Cyber Competition, Cyber Cup, Cyber Challenge.it, or Cyber Game? Come on, I know that the answers sound similar, but there is the right one, which is actually cyberchallenge.it. So yeah, 26 of you managed to provide the right answer. So since 2018, cyberchallenge.it has been organized in Italy as a training program for young students. And now the next question is, do you think, or do you know whether the cyberchallenge.it event is organized at the University of Padova? So the answer could be no, we don't organize it. Yes, and we also won the first edition. Yes, but we never win, so maybe better to give up, or who knows? I hope you believe in us, so you are giving the right answer. And the right answer was yes. We are part of this organization since the first edition. We actually won the first edition, and we'll keep organizing the event at the University of Padova. So we hope to see you also at the next cyberchallenge.it event next year. So most of you already knew it, so good. And okay, the questionnaire is over. So let's see who is the winner. On the third place, we have Polite Buffalo. On the second place, we have Bright Shark, and the winner is, let's see, Smooth Buffalo. Okay, I don't know who is the physical person behind this nickname, but good choice. And I don't know whether we are going to provide you some prize, but thanks for taking part in the questionnaire. Okay, I'm going to.
Thanks a lot, Eleonora. And we don't have prize for now, but we extend our congratulations to the people in the podium. I will actually now leave the floor to my colleagues of the study program committee and professors that actually will teach the various courses in our degree. And once more, I want to take the chance to thank all of them for the great effort and contribution in setting up our master degree. I will now leave the floor to Professor Nicola Ferro for an introduction of the master degree. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Mauro. So, good morning to everybody. Now we will start to go a little bit into the details of the teaching offer of our master degree in cybersecurity. What are we going to talk about today? So I'm going to talk about what is a master degree in cybersecurity in general, and then what is unique to our own master degree. So what special ingredients we have put in our teaching offering. And then my colleague, Professor Michele Zorzi, will go on talking about the overall organization and the details about the study plan. So this morning we heard in many different ways how important and how much transversal is cybersecurity for all aspects of society, industry, government, etc., and obviously for education and research. So we need to understand what is in general a master degree in cybersecurity. It is regulated by a class called LM66, and its distinguished feature is to be an highly interdisciplinary master program. What do I mean? I mean that this program is made up of three main areas. One is science, one is technology, and the other areas are law, psychology, and business. You can see on the right more or less the the proportion of these areas. So 3/4 of the program are for science and technology, which basically means math, computer science, and different aspects of engineering, physics, and so on. And 1/4 of the program is for law, psychology, and business. So you see, it is a master program which really tries to blend different expertises to react and to properly address the challenges posed by cybersecurity. And one important thing to know about this program is that it allows you to get the national qualification for the engineering professions. So you can register in the so-called Albo degli Ingegneri for the Italian students. So how is a master degree in cybersecurity usually instantiated in Italy? So traditionally, it was and it is a curriculum within some other master programs. So typically it is a curriculum within a computer science master program, within a computer engineering master program, and within a telecommunication engineering master program. So this basically means that you, in these cases, you learn mostly the skills and competencies of the specific master program, and then on top of those competencies you add some skills of security. In Italy, on the other hand, there are very few native cybersecurity master's degrees programs, so masters that belong to the LM66 class, I think around 4 or 5 programs. And typically they are rooted in a single department, usually a computer science department, and their approach is to complement the scientific and technological competencies, mostly with skills coming from law and business for the regulatory aspects of security, and for example, risk management or business operations with security. We offer a different approach in the sense that, as also told this morning by the rector and our director of departments, we really try to bring an interdisciplinary approach in the master degree design. So it is a joint effort between several departments: the Department of Mathematics for the scientific area, the Department of Information Engineering for the scientific and technological areas, and other departments, psychology, law, and business. Really, we are working all together to bring to you a fully interdisciplinary master degree program where every point of view is represented in the teaching staff. And in particular, we deepen 3 core areas in this program. We strengthen the engineering and the physical layer skills. We complement an innovative machine learning perspective, so we give you advanced skills to analyze and recognize different forms of security threats, and we also boost on the psychological expertise like cognitive aspects or human-computer interaction, because you really need to have a 36-degree approach to cybersecurity. How do we do that? As already said many times today, we build on the scientific excellence of the contributing departments, because we are top researchers in many of the subjects we are going to teach you: cybersecurity, machine learning and artificial intelligence, big data analytics and information access, telecommunication networks, quantum cryptography and communication, cognitive and computational neurosciences, and the human-computer interaction, just to mention a few of them. And also because we rely on very strong industrial connections. You have seen a few of them represented in the panel today, but we have many others in the defense, insurance, consultancy, web development, electronics, telecommunications, biomedical. You can just name a sector and we possibly have a connection. So all of these allowed us to design a unique and very advanced master program. And now Professor Michele Zorzi will give you the details of this program.
Okay, thank you, Nicola. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michele Zorzi. I'm a professor with the Information Engineering Department. I teach telecommunications and networks. And I'm a member also of the committee that designed this program. And so I'm going to tell you how the principles that Professor Ferro described just a few minutes ago are implemented in the specific program that we offer at our university on cybersecurity. Well, first of all, this is a master's degree. So for the Italian system, it's a laurea magistrale, so it's a second level degree. It's fully taught in English, and it comprises 120 ECTS. So the ECTS, for those of you who are not familiar with the Italian system, these are units that measure conventionally the effort that the student has to put in the studies. And as shown here, the one ECTS, which stands for European Credit Transfer System, is taken to be equivalent to about 25 hours of student work, of which 1/3 correspond to lecturing hours. So the student going to class and listen to lectures, and 2/3 corresponds to study and the homeworks and everything that's done not in the class. And so if you do your math, this is a 2-year program, so there is 60 credits every year, which corresponds to 1,500 hours every year, which is a full-time job. Now, all courses that are offered in this program are 6 ECTS, which means they will include 48 hours of lecture, and you'll take a number of them to total the 120 credits you need to graduate. Now, more specifically, there will be a block of 60 ECTS, which are essentially mandatory courses that are, the group of courses that characterize the foundation and also some advanced topics in the area of the program. And then you will take, so this 60 ECTS is 10 courses. Then you'll take another 12 ECTS for elective courses, so 2 courses of your choice, and then another 2 courses that you can freely choose in a very long list, and I'll give you the details in the next slides. Now, in addition, you'll have 6 credits related to soft skills. So 3 are given to a certification of English language. So this will be a complete B2 level. So if you already have that certification, which includes listening, speaking, and writing, if you already have it, then when you enroll, you'll automatically receive these 3 credits for the English activity. If you don't have it, then you'll find in the offer a course that prepares you for this exam, and also the opportunity to take the exam and get the certification. And so this is something that you do within the program if you don't have it when you enroll. And then another 3 credits for extra activities, again, soft skills that these may be related to seminars or projects. So during your 2 years, you'll do things that will correspond to a certain number of hours. And these hours, after accumulating enough of them, will translate into these 3 credits that will be assigned for extra activities. And then finally, you have 30 credits, which is equivalent to 1 full semester for your final project and thesis, which could also be carried out in a company through an internship. Okay, so you have different options for the thesis. You can go out of the university and spend a semester in a company and doing a project there, or you can do your thesis on more type of academic kind of approach within the university, and this, is your choice, and you can decide what you want to do. So you do your math. This list comes to the 120 credits you need to graduate. So let me tell you a little bit more about the list of courses that you have. So we have a number of mandatory courses, as I said, and these are divided into 3 general areas. One is foundations of security. Another is foundation of other methods that support studies in the area of security without being security per se. And the third is more advanced and specialized courses with the addition of some cross-cutting courses. So let me get into the details first. So the foundational security-oriented courses are these 2. Notice the first one is an integrated course which carries double weight. So this is 12 credits, and it's the combination of a module on principles and practices of cybersecurity and a module on cryptography. And then the other course for the foundation of security is the course of information security. Okay, these 3 modules will give you, general knowledge about what security is, what are the main attacks, the main methods. And so these will also align students with different backgrounds to start the program. The second group is fundamental supporting methodologies. So these are courses that are deemed to be fundamental for people studying security, even though they're not only about security, and they are in fact used in many other disciplines. So these include machine learning, deep learning, cognition and computation, and stochastic processes, right? So modern cybersecurity relies heavily on probabilistic techniques, on learning techniques, computation, and so this will give you a background on these in these areas to strengthen your technical abilities towards solving problems in security area. And then more advanced courses like biometrics and advanced topics in computer and network security. So here you start maybe looking more closely at applications and how these techniques that you have learned can find use and application in real systems and to solve real problems, which is the goal of this whole program. Okay. Now, in addition to this list of courses, which are all mandatory for all students, then you have a cross-cutting set of courses that relates to areas that are close to security, but not in a technical way. Now, these 3 areas are psychology, where we offer a course on human-computer interaction, law, where we offer a course on law and data, and economics, where we offer a course on service management. And so to complete your mandatory course requirement, you will have to choose at least one of these 3 courses, depending on your inclination towards psychology, law, or economics. So the list on top, plus one of these 3 courses at the bottom, will give you the 60 credits for the mandatory block. Now, in the elective courses, we have a long list from which you select 2 courses. So this list, as you can see, includes a mixture of courses that are more fundamental, some others that are more security specific, others that are a bit broader, some others that are very application oriented. And so here, according to your taste, you will pick 2 courses that you want to follow to complement, the list I gave you in the previous slides. And then finally, you have another 12 ECTS, which means another 2 courses, which are completely at your choice, which means that these 2 courses could be chosen again from this list, from those you didn't pick, or you can choose 1 or 2 of the cross-cutting courses where you had to pick one, but you can take more than one if you want, or you can even pick those courses in other master's programs at the University of Padova. For example, if there's a course in the computer science program, or in the computer engineering, or in the ICT for internet multimedia, a course that is not included in this list and you'd like to attend and to include in your curriculum, you can certainly do so by using this 2 slots for 2 courses here to pick that. And of course, if you want some help in choosing other courses, there will be people, faculty members who will be part of the teaching committee who can help you make the appropriate choice, because of course, what we want is that your choice leads to a coherent program. And so something that is meaningful, and it maximizes, the effectiveness of the program that you select. And so all in all, we think we designed a solid program which tries to mix different expertise from the main areas that relate to cybersecurity. So mostly computer science and communication and information technology engineering, in addition to related areas in other disciplines, including psychology, economics, and law. You will have a strong background on core security topics. You'll have a solid knowledge of underlying principles, methodologies, and technologies, as well as relevant applications. You'll have a comprehensive understanding of cross-disciplinary implications of security aspects, which are key to be effective and knowledgeable in this broad area. And if you look at other programs that are comparable and offered nationwide, but also at the European level, you can see that what we offer is quite competitive, both in terms of the quality of the teaching and of the faculty, as well as in terms of the mix of topics and the overall expertise you will gain by the time you graduate. And so with that, I will leave the floor to Laura for the more administrative part of this program.
Thank you very much, Professor Zarzi. Okay. Okay, I should like, first of all, to thank our professor to invite me as a representative of Teaching Activities Office for Didactic Secretariat. First of all, the first question is how to apply. If you have an Italian bachelor degree, you have to follow this link, Avvisi di ammissione. Admission call application contains all the information needed to apply. The Avviso di ammissione is about to be published at the end of next week. So you please read carefully about what you have found in this link. About international students who wish to pursue in education in Italy are always welcome. And here there is the link Dream Apply. The second call will close on 7 July. So students are welcome to apply for this second call. Second slide is about the entry requirements. What are the must-have is often a question that students always write us through email. There are some, this is the list of entry requirements. 24 ECTS, this European Credit Transfer and Accumulation System, CFU in Italian, achieved in informatics, engineering informatics, and mathematics, the 18 credits, 24 and 18 credits. Also, the entry level of English is B2, but only reading and listening. Productive skills are required, but you have to pass an exam, a specific exam during your program, your master. You must also have obtained at least 85 points, and you have an adequate personal curriculum studiarum, knowledge, competence, capability in the framework of computer science, information engineering. Another question always students have is, what kind of international program master's degree or the University of Padua offer us? The University of Padua has been promoting students with mobility for over 30 years, and all the students have the opportunity to spend a semester or full academic year at a partner university to study or to carry out research. Now I show a short list. The following list is not exhaustive, but these are the main program. Erasmus Plus, through which you can attend courses, take exam, prepare dissertation, and also you carry out an internships. These are the two main links, and if you check and click here, you will find all the information about Erasmus Plus studies and internship mobility. Another program is the SAMP. It's very similar to Erasmus Plus program, but this program which allows students to spend a period in Switzerland. And the last one is a new project of the University of Padua that promotes mobility in non-European countries, USA, Canada, Asia, or other countries not European. Payment and fees is my last slide because it's very important to know for this academic year. You have to pay about 2,000 euro divided into installments, but no worries, no panics, because the tuition fees can be reduced. Really, here I put some links that could be useful for students. The following pages summarize all the possibilities students have to apply for reduced fees. Here, particularly, there is a list of the funding opportunities. And also, the University of Padua and the region, there are a lot of actors, public-private institution that offers during the academic year scholarship to support particular kind of students, like students with specific or specific sport or academic achievements. So thank you very much. And this is the two link. This is the website, the web page of our master degree program. This is the email. And so if you have any question, drop me an email and we will reply you soon. Thank you very much. So now I leave the floor to Professor Ballan for question and answers. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Now it's time for questions. So let me start first of all saying that you can use the chat on YouTube to ask whatever you want regarding the program or any other technical thing related to the course. And let me start with a couple of very technical questions. So the first one is related to, let's read the question. So one of you is asking if there is is there any possibility we share WhatsApp group link for intake students? So I'm not sure about WhatsApp, but in general, we will have several activities and opportunities both at the university level. So especially for international students, there are activities that are specifically designed to give you the opportunity to meet other students. So for networking and for sharing problems or anything that is related to your life in Padova. But we will have also similar activities within our program. So we are already active on social media. So probably this is could be one opportunity to meet other people. And obviously there are, hopefully, if the emergency is not as bad as now, you'll have also several chances to meet other students in person in Padova. Okay, so we have another questions that is, so I'm going to read all the questions as starting from what you put on the chat. Then also, obviously, all the other colleagues are welcome to answer, especially if the questions is related to their area of expertise. So this is another technical one, and this is related to what Laura was saying at the very end. So this student is asking if he's studying computer engineering in Padova. And okay, and the question is, if I don't reach one of the thing that you have to, I mean, one of the prerequisites in order to enroll to the program is related to your final grade. And so he's asking if I don't reach at least 85, does this mean that I can take the master course? Okay, so this is another constraint. So if this is something, yeah, that it's not, I mean, this is mandatory. So this is one of the main constraints. The other one that is related to the courses that you have already covered in your bachelor. So in that case, it might be that there are, so a committee will evaluate your previous curriculum, especially if you come from, let's say, not standard areas. So it might be that some courses are not, so if you come from Padova, it's or any Italian university, especially from computer science or engineering, you'll probably be more than fine with our entry, our constraints in terms of classes, because they are not that, I mean, you have not huge thresholds to be, I mean, to take care. But if you come from slightly different backgrounds, like, I don't know, like mathematics maybe, or not engineering or not computer science, it might be that you might have problems with some of them. But in that case, we will evaluate also on, I mean, depending on your specific background. Okay, so we have another question that is, okay, how will the topic, this is a very general question. How will the topics be treated? A theoretical approach and a little practice, or a more real life approach accustomed to the working world?
I can take the question
yeah.
if you want, yeah. So I think as at the program level, so the overall program, there'll be a mixture of theory and practice. I mean, I didn't go into the contents of the different courses, but even from the titles, you can probably understand that there are some courses that are more theory-oriented and some others that are more application-oriented. And so it probably would be a mix of some courses that are almost exclusively dealing with theory, some courses that will have a theoretical part and maybe a more practical part, maybe through a project or through some homework or lab activities, and some courses that are even more heavily oriented towards applications. So what you should do if in doubt when trying to understand how what is the content of these courses and potentially which to choose from the electives, you go to the syllabus, so to the teaching website of the university, and each course has its own syllabus, which is a detailed description of the course content, the prerequisites, the exam, so how the exam works, also the teaching material, the textbooks, and so you can easily understand from that description which courses are more theoretical, which are more application oriented, and get an idea of the overall thing. But you know, the nature of the course is precisely to be strong theoretical background, but very strong tie to practical applications and real needs of the real world.
Thanks, Michele. Does anyone else want to add a few words?
Yeah, Lamberto. Another thing to consider is the internship program. The thesis is not necessarily only an academic thesis, but you can spend part of your time in an internship with a company. As we said, we have stronger connections with the industry and companies, and they are keen to host students to put them working on their real life projects. So there is a lot of room to create the right path, the right balance for students between theory and practice within the master degree program.
Thanks, Nicola. Anyone else? Okay, cool. I think in the meantime, we can also, we have a couple of administrative questions that are related to what Laura was saying at the very end. So I would like to start with the first one, and maybe Laura, you can ask, I mean, you can start. So the question is, can the fees be reduced by ISEE?
Yes, of course. The University of Padova Veneto region support with scholarship and can reduce fees. You have to follow the instruction in the slide about fees, because it's 2,600 about the fees, but yes, of course, with ISEE it can be reduced, surely.
Okay. Then we have another one. I think this is also general, so it would be nice if, I mean, all of us can say a few words on it, about it. So the student is asking, thanks, okay, I wonder if there will be any partnership with other universities, particularly with US universities, such as student exchange programs. So this is also something that has been covered by Laura, but I'd like to add a few words on it. So we have several partnerships, as Laura was highlighting, and so you can start from the links that she shared on the slides. But actually, they are so there are a couple of places on our website, on the university website, where you can find a lot of information about it. But in a nutshell, I mean, we can say that you have multiple opportunities. And so, for example, regarding US, there are exchange program with Boston University. There are others with Canada, such as University of British Columbia. And this is just the first one that I have in mind. But yeah, there are for sure multiple opportunities, and many of the professors that are going to teach in the program have a lot of research collaborations. So especially for this could be also the case that you'd like to, I mean, maybe to do something in collaboration with other university during your master thesis, and this might be an option.
Let me add that if the question includes also the idea of doing international mobility to the US, now, given that there are issues about the cost as well as visa issues for the US, in principle, this can be done. In fact, at the university level, as Laura was saying, we have some programs of international exchange, which include US universities as well. So that is a possibility. There is a call for applications, and then you can, if you win a position, then you can actually go to the US there. Another possibility could be to do your internship and thesis in the US, given that you can, deal with the visa issues and all that. And so there are some possibilities that could be implemented, even though it's obviously more difficult than doing it in Italy or in Europe because of international and visa issues there. Now, there's also a question on the math.
Oh, yeah.
So the last one, can I ask for that one as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, even though administratively the program is handled by the math department, it's actually a joint effort, equally carried by the math department and the information engineering department. And if you look at the list of the courses, there is almost nothing that is pure math. Right? Well, maybe cryptography can be seen as pure math, but everything else is applied math, and it's towards applications. Or if it's mathematical and theoretical, it's oriented towards then applications of these tools to real scenarios. So if the concern is that I'm going to do a lot of math and not enough applications, you should be shouldn't be worried, because that's not the case.
Yeah, I agree. I'm from the math department, but actually our math department is a math and computer science department. So it's not only, we are not only people doing, super theoretical stuff. And as Michele was saying, and this is also something that has been covered in depth during the previous presentation, this is really an interdisciplinary effort with different contributions from all the main partners that are, and this is a highly technical program. Okay. The questions for Michele Zorzi. I've seen many very interesting courses. Will there be anything more specific? What's that? Regarding? No, okay, sorry, I'm not sure.
I think it's penetration testing.
Penetration testing, yeah.
What is that?
Penetration testing for Mauro.
Yeah, probably Mauro can, other few words also.
Yeah, we have a course on ethical hacking, so that of course we'll take also this into account, and we are also designing a very practical course about this, so we'll have some simulation tools for this.
Okay, this is there is another technical questions that, and probably Michele is the right person to answer. Yeah. So there is a student that is he or she is studying. She is studying for the master degree in ICT. She already took some of the exams on cybersecurity plan. Is it possible to change master degree, saving them?
So it is always possible to move from one program to another. Right? In doing so, then you may be able to keep some activities and exams you took in the previous program while transferring to the other program. Now, this of course depends on the specifics, right, of what you did. But if what you did in your current program appears in the program you want to join, then you should probably be fairly sure that all of this will be recognized and credited when you transfer. But this is a question for the teaching committee for the new curriculum.
Thanks. There was also another question that is general, and that's the question. So, do the courses have assignments or teamworks to put things into practice? Partially, we have already answered to this because this is obviously related also to the what's the amount of practical or hands-on experiences we'll have in our courses. But I think, you can I can say a few words about, for example, my course. I will teach vision and cognitive services. That is especially, I mean, it's one course that is related to cybersecurity because it's mostly related to computer vision. So in that case, we will have course projects. So this is just one example. I'm aware that this is going to happen also in other courses, but I don't know, Mauro, Nicola, Michele, if you want to add a few words also, maybe related to your classes.
Generally, in some of the courses,
but I think.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's fairly typical. Maybe not for the most introductory courses, for the foundational ones, but from medium to advanced courses, it's fairly typical to have homeworks, assignments, group projects, etc. So this is something we do. That's true also in the case of my courses on databases and web applications, where basically you develop real life projects or almost real life projects in groups of students. So I think that it's a fairly standard approach.
If I may follow up on the previous answer, Lamberto, about transferring from another program to this program here, and this may actually be a question for Laura. If someone is currently enrolled in the first year of a master program and wants to move to cybersecurity next year, I don't know if they will be enrolled as second year, because the second year of this program will not exist.
Exactly.
And all the courses that are scheduled for the second year will not be offered necessarily this year, 2021, because this is officially the first year only, and the second year will only appear in 21-22. So if you transfer from a different program, you should be aware that there is this difficulty that some of the courses you may want to take may not be offered.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, we have another question. So is it possible to apply for time project while enrolled in this master degree? I don't have the answer. So I think that maybe Mauro, Nicola, or also Laura can add a few words on it.
Sorry, what is the question? Because I'm looking for...
It's about the time framework.
The time framework.
Is it open for our students?
University level framework.
I think it's a general program, so it should be, yeah.
Yes, you can find everything online, the schedule, timing. We have to plan the schedule, the program, the scheduling, because I don't know at this moment what is, because the calendar
the
is
main
not...
question. The main question here is whether the time program is open to cybersecurity students, so they can access it. Then how to access it and the logistics, of course, is follows its own rules. But I would think that cybersecurity students can join the time program. In our department, for example, any student of any master's program can join the time program. And so I would assume that this is open to these students as well.
Yes, of course. But and we are, all the information will coming soon on the website. I will publish everything. So sure.
Okay.
Okay. There's another question that is related to the number of, if there are there any courses that are close number courses? But but this is not the case. I mean, it's
probably not.
Yeah, we have a selection for the admission, but once students are admitted, there are no restrictions for the courses. I mean, for the admission to the degree, there is some selection process, but after that, there are no restrictions.
Yeah.
Only for international students, there is a selection through Dream Apply, because you can admit only 50 students. We don't have, there is an unlimited number of students admitted to the program if they have an Italian bachelor degree. So for Italians, Italian bachelor degree, unlimited. Limitation is only for international students, 50 students. But the second call list now is still open, so they can apply and they can be admitted to the program.
Yeah, maybe Laura, you can also remind all the interested students what are the current deadlines for enrolling.
For international student, yes, 7 July is the deadline. For Italian student, I don't know, because Avviso di Ammissione is not yet published. So we have to waiting for this call for application.
But typically, it's through the end of the year, right?
Yes, this is the period. This is the period. Right. It's right in June. We have this week, or maybe the secretary told me last week that this week or maybe next, they will publish the Avviso di Ammissione. And for all the summer, we will be open. The call will be open.
Thanks. Okay, we have another question. Maybe I got wrong, but starting from the year 21st, 2012, the course could be different from those offered now.
Can I take that? So the only difference is that there will be more courses, because for the year 2021, only the first year courses will be active, because this is the year which is ongoing. In 21-22, in addition to the courses that will be offered this coming year, there'll be more courses. So all those scheduled for the second year that are not active already in the next year. Okay, so it will reach steady state, and so we'll have both years active, whereas in 2021 we only have the first year active, and so the offer will be limited because it only relates to the first year.
Yeah, I think the issue was, I mean, it might be a problem only for cases such as the previous one, where we have students that want to change that are already enrolled. But for people starting this year, it's nothing. You'll be not affected by this, obviously. Okay. So apparently we don't have any more questions. Okay. So I think since it's a bit late, let's say this is the last call. If you have additional questions, please do it through the chat. Okay, here we are. Mr. Farina talked about possible career opportunities in military. Company seniors talk about what is a business world. I'm curious, what about career opportunities in academia? This is for all of us. So who want to start?
That's always a possibility, right? We need professors eventually. And so the academic world is certainly one possibility for future career. Now, in Italy, the number of positions is very small, but it's non-zero. Right? Clearly, if you want to pursue an academic career, then you must do a PhD after your master's and doing research. So usually, when you do your master's thesis, it's a good time to try to understand, what is your inclination, your interest, and also your ability to pursue an academic career. And of course, your advisor or thesis supervisor will be the right person to tell you whether this is something you should pursue or whether you should instead direct your interest towards industry.
Another thing you could add on top of this is to understand that PhD, so an even higher level of education, is obviously needed for pursuing any academic career, but it is not only for pursuing an academic career. So you can surely plan to have a PhD. We have an excellent school for PhD students in both our departments, and that's opportunity then to try an academic career, but also to go, for example, in research and development in worldwide industry, or many students also, they start their own business, their own startup with latest research results. So in general, don't be scared about thinking at least a higher level education degree.
Thanks, Nicola. Okay, I will leave the floor to Mauro. Just me before that can add a few words about answering to this question, since he is working in the cybersecurity area. So maybe he can also say a few things about cybersecurity in terms of research opportunities. But before doing that, let me just spend 1 minute or even less answering to this other question, because this might be probably something was not completely clear to the student. And the question is, if I wanted to know if this course considered thesis based on course based, since we have to pass 120 credits, which is somehow strange in comparison to the other countries' master's degree. Okay, just to these 120 credits, I mean, part of it, as Michele Zorzi described in detail previously, an entire semester is covered by the master thesis. So you already have several credits that are assigned to the thesis. Okay, so it's not 120 credits plus the thesis. Okay, but that was just a quick thing. So Mauro, I leave the floor to you to say a few words about what we have covered till now, and also to end the session.
Yeah, thanks, Lamberto. Yeah, just to confirm that there is a huge need of people experienced in cybersecurity. Figures tell us that there are a need of 4 million people worldwide, of course. This is from government agencies, companies, as we heard from our panelists, but I can, of course, strongly confirm that there is a huge need, particularly in this moment, of researchers and professor expert and working in cybersecurity research. It's true that in Italy, the situation is particularly competitive, and the quality, I would say, is also in general very high. But there are in Italy still several positions, I would say, more than other areas, and there are a lot of positions worldwide for people that want to embark in a research career in cybersecurity. So you're more than welcome to join our program also if you have this ambition. So now I would like to close this event. So I would like to thank the University of Padua and all the people that made this possible, this event and the starting of new master degree. Thank to all our prestigious speakers that we had today, and to all the people that attended the event, and particularly to our prospective students. We look forward to seeing you in Padua.